Hey guys, we're breaking down the new insane trailer for the movie Valerian, the crazy sci-fi epic from director Luc Besson. That's happening on ScreenJunkies News right now. Okay, there we go. For those of you ready to leave this planet behind, again, still sad, have we got a trailer for you? The teaser trailer for Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets was released today, and it showcases a highly colorful space opera that we've come to expect from Luc Besson, the visionary French director behind The Fifth Element. The movie stars Dane DeHaan of Chronicle and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but we won't really talk about that one as much, as Valerian, and Cara Delevingne from Suicide Squad as his partner Laureline. The film is based on the French serialized comic and graphic novel Valerian and Laureline, created by writer Pierre Christine, artist Jean-Claude Mézières, and colorist Evelyn Tremblay. Like the books, the movie will deal with the galactic misadventures of Valerian and Laureline. And guys, if you're like me, you've literally never heard of this thing, but that's okay. That's okay, because we here at ScreenJunkies News have assembled the most qualified and expert panel of experts ever to expertly talk about an obscure comic. That's what we're about to do right now.
In the past.
That's what we're about to do right now. We've got an incredible panel. Let me just introduce everybody real quick because we got to get into it. On our far left, Mr. Dan Murrell is here. Dan, everybody. Dan,
I inked
give it up.
the original comic book, so yes.
Okay, fantastic. To his right, Mr. Coy Jandreau, who has never read this comic book.
I designed only 60 of the 100 aliens. Those
But
were my
designed
doing.
60 of the when they reached out to the internet for the alien designs.
You're welcome.
And to his right, Markia McCarty, who is literally an expert in this comic book. Thank you so much for being here, Markia. This is amazing.
I did all the voiceover work for the comic book.
Yeah, that's right.
All of it, every alien,
The audiobook?
all 100. Yes.
The artist would then use to do that. So we're doing a trailer breakdown, y'all. Okay, we're gonna go through for you guys here on the internet, basically frame by frame, but not shot by shot, for this trailer, so that you know everything that you can possibly know about this movie, about this graphic novel comic book from France, before you go see the movie. So let's go ahead and pull up the trailer right now, guys. We're about to get into it. Here we go. All right, that's just the title screen. Here we go. Let's pause here. Tell us about what we're looking at right here. Somebody take it. Go for it.
It's a possibility of two things. I feel like it might be Point Central is a possibility, where Point Central is where it's you have all of these different aliens, and we're not talking just like, oh, here's the Avatar aliens, oh, here's E.T. No, we mean a universe full of aliens, and they all come together at Point Central, and they don't really interact with each other, so they just kind of build on this space station, kind of like Babylon 5 style.
Okay.
And then they interact with lenses that's between each of their stations, but everything is Point Central, so this might be that.
That's really interesting.
The City of 1,000 Planets, I think, is, I mean, that's the subtitle of the film, so I think this would be that 1,000 planets. What you're saying is that it's not literally 1,000 planets, it's 1,000 types of planet species in this city, which is an interesting concept.
One thing I read about the film, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, is that in this city they celebrate diversity, they celebrate their differences, they celebrate how all of these different alien races can come together, but there are people or characters in this city that don't subscribe to that way of thinking, and is that going to be sort of the antagonistic threat? Is that going to be what our hero characters, who we'll see in a second, is that what they're going to be going up against? What do we think?
That makes sense. I mean,
It's a tried and true, definitely.
It's a familiar feeling.
It's a familiar strife that we all go through.
Well, and the look of this reminds me, again, you're gonna see so many people are already drawing these comparisons, but of course, The Fifth Element, there's it's obviously the same genre, but Luc Besson has a certain feel. He has a certain grandiose way that he likes to do things.
The scope of his films.
The scope of it is very big. I personally think that Coruscant in Episode 3 was heavily, I'll say, inspired by what Luc Besson did with more than a tip of the cap to what Luc Besson did.
There's a lot of that. We'll be talking about the comic book and its influences here in a second, but let's pull up the trailer. Let's go to that next shot. We've got our first lead actor here. Now, we got a comment from the chat. Right here, pause on that. That's Cara Delevingne.
Yes.
We've got a comment from Shapeshifters that says, if they'd gotten actors that were less pop mainstream, I'd be interested, but Cara and Rihanna can't act. I gotta disagree with you there. If you guys saw Suicide Squad, one of the best parts, in my opinion, was Cara Delevingne's performance, which with a really difficult and tough sell character. But I thought Cara knocked it out of the park. I think she's got a great chemistry. I think she's got a great screen presence. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her act more. And the same for me for Rihanna. I think that they're fantastic. How do you guys feel about Cara casting? And then we'll talk about the character.
Well, I think that particularly with Rihanna, Luc Besson, people, I mean, this is a big, huge film, so I think people are expecting that big, huge blockbuster mentality.
Right.
This is not the mentality that Luc Besson brings. He brings a very singular, a very unique vision to everything that he does, and it's not for everybody. And part of that is he has this very heightened reality.
Super stylized version of filmmaking.
Super stylized. So particularly when people say like, "Oh, I don't know about Rihanna," like I think you're just thinking of like Battleship and I was like, no, this is a completely different style, tone, everything.
I think something that they would have to keep in mind is that with sci-fi, there's more of a suspension of disbelief that you would have with something like with Cara. She does have a type of vulnerability, and it seems like this is a very tough as nails character. And since she already has that vulnerability as an actor, that could bring something very unique to that role. And as far as Rihanna, I get where Swift is coming from. I believe it was Pacific Rim that she was in, where it's like she has this giant machine gun, or what was it?
Battleship.
Battleship. Thank you.
Interchangeable.
Yeah,
not. Well, that's a whole different show. That's a whole different show.
Yeah, but in particular, where there's a scene where she is working this gigantic machine gun, and since that's based in a slightly futuristic Earth, then I don't see. She's a smaller, petite person working a machine gun, but with this kind of sci-fi, where I believe it's in the 28th century.
We'll get to that shot later.
Yeah,
but
and
her
she's
role,
not
it's like, come on.
It's a different kind of role.
Mia Jovovich was a model-turned actress with Fifth Element.
Thank you.
Luc Besson made that transition, work with the stylized film, and now we get Mia Jovovich, so I'm thankful for it. If that is what happens to Cara Delevingne...
If the internet existed before Fifth Element came out...
People would have been real upset about it. But Mia Jovovich...
Absolutely.
I thought,
So let's go ahead and go to that next shot in the trailer, guys. We've got our introduction of the male character here played by Dane DeHaan. This is the lead title character, Valerian. Somebody give us some background on this character, what his role is, what his job is.
Well, he's more bumbling from what it seems like from the comics. Like it's more about the duo of them, and the comic is called Valerian and Laureline. So the fact that they dropped the Laureline's a bit concerning, but it's about the relationship between the two of them, and it seems like he's the weaker of the two as far as like she's the strong-willed and determined, and he's the guy that like has a crush on her. And in the trailer, he's like smirking at her, and there's like a line of dialogue about the flirting, and he's very like adorable. And Dane DeHaan's a brilliant actor, so I'm excited to see that version of Dane.
It's kind of like a Han Solo, Leia type of a
Dane
relationship.
DeHaan Solo. Dane DeHaan.
Oh my God.
That's the worst. Let's go ahead and pull up our next shot here. Let's keep scrolling through the trailer so we can continue breaking it down. We know who that is. That's Luc Besson. Great. So let's pause right here.
Again, Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
That kind of multi-layered, multi-dimensional, and obviously he's got the means to do it. But yeah, again, I think this just shows you the kind of scale.
And it's got a Blade Runner flavor. It's got a really cool like neon future, and I'm excited about this world.
I think that we can predict that this is big market, which is a really interesting location that's going to be in the story in the film. It exists on an alternate universe. You have to wear special goggles to even see it. And this is where a lot of different alien races are kind of coming together. There is apparently 1 million stores. You have to drop off your DNA code to even like get stuff. So this is the kind of out there huge concepts that are apparently going to be in this film. But we're pretty sure that this is big market, and it's a very similar shot to Fifth Element. Let's keep scrolling forward. Let's go to our next thing that we're going to pause.
I love this shot so much.
These guys.
Let's talk about this. I mean, what do we know about this? Is this part of big market? Are they looking at DNA being kind of dropped off? Is this a bank situation?
Is this their version of a computer?
It looks like giant computer like framework, but the scale of it's like maybe a building. So is that like a world we live in where like a computer is that size, like we had in Guardians of the Galaxy, where like we were in an alien head? Like the scope and scale of things is amazing here.
Absolutely. On the internet, Jesse Metcalf says, for some reason, this frame reminds me of the Star Wars prequels. Again, those big shots of the cities, very futuristic sci-fi, obviously inspired and influenced by this kind of work. So,
yes.
Yes.
That's a nice way of saying it.
Yes. Let's keep scrolling forward in the trailer. Very cool. All right, let's pause here. This is a really interesting shot of some new alien race that we've never seen before in film. They kind of look maybe a little aquatic, a little fish-like, a little bit Avatar. What do we take of this? Do we have an idea of who these characters are?
The Cortan Dahuk.
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
The Cortan Dahuk. They hail from the planet Casonar, and I know I pronounced that wrong. And it's like 5,000 light years from, Earth at that time. And what I think about these guys is I think they're decidedly Vulcan-like. So I like that they're a part of this.
They're very much about peace and about coming together and about logic. Is that kind of where?
And that, and it's like a furthering species, not necessarily so much about the status quo so much as growth of a species.
Gotcha. Okay, fantastic. Did you guys want to contribute to any of that, or that you pretty much got it?
I love their look, and I think they're going to be a very important part because of how much work they put into the style of them.
Agreed.
And I think that's important to note that they're still building this film, and we're already to a point where they look this good, and it's not finished yet. And I love that.
Absolutely. I got to mention too that apparently this movie is going to have 200 alien species. Is that right? 200.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna have a lot.
To me, that seems impressive, but I feel like we're not going to really spend that much time
With
with all of
we're
them.
gonna scroll. Like that's what I mean. These guys
Yes.
are a finalized.
We're going to
Yeah.
spend some time with these characters here. So let's keep scrolling forward in the trailer. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jonathan. All right, here we go. They're
those
coming into a
suits.
spaceship. Cool suits, very Pacific Rim vibe for sure. Visionary director of the Fifth Element. Let's pause here. Now, what do we know about this apparently aquatic alien race? They're apparently gathering some kind of a material. What do we make of this?
Well, this might be the Grobos, Groubos. I'm not going to be able to pronounce anything because
if we
when
have-
you read it, it's different.
Right, and if we have any French viewers, if you could please help us phonetically,
Please.
that would be fantastic. We would love to get all of this stuff down. So yeah, please,
Yeah.
the Grobos?
Grobos, yes, we'll go with that. So there's from what I remember, there's like 2 types. There's ones that are completely blind, and then they actually have these other types where they will kind of be like hunters and gatherers for them, both in things like food and then also with information. So
Interesting.
this is absolutely stunning and beautiful, and it kind of reminds me of Ferngully.
With the
Yeah.
depositing of DNA for shopping, I love the idea that this is actually them gathering information. I'd love to
could
see
be
the
information.
translation of information to like tangible media, and if that was part of the storyline, I'd love that.
I have to mention this too. It feels, I mean, this trailer definitely sees influence from Avatar, from James Cameron's Avatar 2009. The idea that we're talking about trading information in an Avatar, they did that with their hair ponytail
Right.
type of thing, you know. Luc Besson has said that this movie really only got greenlit because of the success of Avatar. He'd been trying to make this movie for decades.
He'd said when he made Fifth Element, a lot of people were like, why don't you just make Valerian?
Yes.
And then now he thinks the world is ready for Valerian, so I love that we're seeing a spiritual
Wow.
sequel by the scope of this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And then just to interject, if you see like behind them where it's green, they're actually in the green canals, which intersperses
shot.
throughout the.
These are the green
Point Central-
canals
The green canals
of
yeah.
Point Central.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, let's keep scrolling forward, guys. Ooh, you're going to want to tune in. We're going to get through this whole trailer, and at the end, we have got some thoughts, guys. We're going to give you some overall thoughts. Here we go. Lucy. Did
And
you all see
Lucy.
Lucy? Okay, great. Pause. I didn't see it yet, but apparently people really liked it. So we've got a
I
new.
enjoyed it.
Great. Okay. All
It
right.
was fun.
We
It
got
was a
the
fun movie.
of approval from Dan. So we've got a new alien race here. Now, what I love about these characters, and this is really the only thing I can bring to this conversation, is that they have prosthetics and actual tangible costumes, and yet you've got CG that is helping with the eyelids blinking and stuff, little CG enhancements. Luc Besson has talked about the blending of practical and CG. I think it looks fantastic. But we've got this alien race here, along with, let's scroll forward just a little bit because I want to get to our next shot. Keep going. This big dude, pause right there.
This guy.
What do we make of these characters of this alien race? What do we know about them? I'm going to guess Markia has an idea.
This particular character, and I'm going to say the name. You can say the way to say his name.
I think it's Ogden Cyrus. I think that's right,
Cyrus.
right?
Okay.
And apparently he grows cobalt in water, and I don't know what that means at all. And I'm really curious about it. Like, is that some sort of? He looks like a merch trader. Is he like a pawn shop guy? Like, there's like
That's what I guess. What I
there's a
think
job
I
of
see.
flavor in
There's
some.
definitely- It's like whatever this guy deals in.
I don't
you
trust
know,
him.
No,
I don't trust
it's
him one
illicit
bit.
substances. So
We know about this alien race. So we've got Ogden Cyrus. What is he a part? Do we know, or maybe the alien
You
race
had that theory
beforehand?
about eating.
Yeah, well, with this mercenary race, one of the things with the plot line with Valerian and Laureline, she has it's like this being that exists in this world. They're called grumpy converters, where you can feed them and they will exude more of what you feed
You're talking
them.
about pooping?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
They poop it out. They could poop out diamonds.
That's
So feed it a
pretty good
diamond
trick.
to poop out a diamond.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, but they do have to be recharged. They do get.
How do you
worn out.
recharge something that poops diamonds? I have a lot of questions.
I'm just picturing like the garbage disposal creature from the Flintstones, like it's a living, like some alive thing. I don't know. That's probably not right. Let's hop back into the trailer, guys. Let's keep scrolling forward. Here we go. All right, now pause here. Based on the groundbreaking graphic novel, let's just talk about the graphic novel a little bit. This is something that I was not aware of, but is a huge international success. It has been translated into dozens of languages. It originally was published 1967, were the first volumes, the first stories being
And it
published.
came out 2 pages at a time every Wednesday. So
Wow.
in a newspaper every Wednesday, you get 2 pages. So over 6 months, you're told a story.
So like a classic comic
the
strip.
scope
and then,
of that,
yes.
the idea that like people had attention spans to wait 6 months is beautiful. So I love that this
Yeah.
existed for so long and people had the patience to read it. 2 pages at a time.
It was eventually collected
Gotta
into
be good.
graphic novel formats. Again, just to talk about the influence of this, this comic book came out before the first Star Wars, and when the writer of the comic went to go see Star Wars, she said, "Oh, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic," and I was also pissed because there's a lot of influence in that.
Well, and the
which is
idea
great.
that you're going to do an adaptation of something done that far back, that's great.
And over that much time.
And over that much time, that's great.
It's amazing.
That's so great.
Let's keep scrolling forward in the trailer, y'all. Let's keep it going. Here we go. Let's pause right here. So what city is this, guys? What are we looking at?
This might be.
Is this big market from the outside?
Is this point zero?
Ooh, this looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell. I mean, there's really no way without any context to know because of
Yeah.
the scope of the film. That could be any number of the major hubs.
Yeah,
We've
it
got-
could be Alpha from further out, Point Central. I mean, it's immense. It's vast. You get the sense that there are countless beings around in there.
This could be the planet of 1,000 cities. It could be a lot of things.
Absolutely, and we're also getting the sense that there's at least countless locations as well. There's a
Right.
lot of
Yeah.
different sort of main locations. Let's keep scrolling here in the trailer. Fun guy says, "Looks like Guardians of the Galaxy minus the fun." Well, we don't know yet.
It looks
I think
fun.
It looks really fun.
Guy.
Pause right here. So this is the ship. This is Valerian and Loreline's ship entering Big Market. What is this? Is this what we're looking at? This is kind of a portal from out to space inwards. Is that what we think?
I mean, it definitely looks like it keeps space out and stuff in. It looks like definitely something like, temporal. I'd say big market only because of what we were saying about all the stores. It looks like a shopping hub. It looks like a trade center.
Yeah, well, it's definitely an atmosphere change from where they're going from somewhere into somewhere else, whether that's aquatic into water, whether that's space into oxygen-rich environment or nitrogen-rich, who knows?
Right.
So yeah, but the fact that they have to use portals just says another about how immense everything is.
Absolutely. Let's keep scrolling forward in the trailer. A lot of doubt. Pause right here.
Totally different type of
Pause
scene.
right here. A lot of doubt from people in the chat, just like not knowing how to feel about the overall movie. A lot of haters.
Rewatch the fifth element.
Rewatch
Make
the
a
Fifth
choice,
Element.
because that's a good time.
Okay, let's talk about this shot, guys. This is obviously holodeck, right? This is the two characters that are in sort of
They're on the Enterprise.
yeah,
Holodeck.
Enterprise D. This is a hologram with this sort of beach location. So we were talking about this beforehand, but there's another possibility that we have. Let's pull up that beach shot. Markia, what was your take on this?
Okay, well, there's a couple of possibilities with this beaching. Yeah, obviously holodeck, and I actually really enjoy that it would be that he somehow convinced her to take a little mini break. But also two other possibilities. This could be the, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, NARF Dreamers, GNIAR. FS-Dreamers. So please, French speakers, let me know what that actually is. And it's like these humanoid beings, and they specialize in simulated and augmented dreams. So, kind of like an augmented reality, but in a dreamlike form. So that could be a possibility. There's also a race of the Shufos. SHOUFUSS, which I believe we'll address that later. But they also they're shapeshifters, and they also deal in simulation, but in more of a like bordello kind of a way.
I love talking to people that are familiar with the subject matter because the thing I'm taking away is that there's just so many possibilities because it's such a massive world, this comic book world that I know nothing about. Let's keep scrolling forward in the trailer, guys. Here we go. Little flirtation here, but yeah.
The other side of flirtation,
as
a
you
little.
can see
Old
there.
Draco Malfoy right in the face.
Yeah,
Ouch.
pause right here. Now they're on a school bus in the desert. This is another completely different location. We'll see more about the desert here in a second, but let's talk a little bit about what we're gleaming from the relationship of these two characters from what we've seen in the trailer up to this point.
Well, there's a line that says, you flirt, I smile. And that, I think, sums up their relationship nicely, especially from what I've heard about the books, is that he's pushing, and she's like, I'm cool with it, but I'm the one in charge here. And I really like that dynamic, especially with these cast members. I like the idea of that being the playfulness throughout the film. And from everything we've seen, she's leading the charge. Like, she's making the choices. So I think that's going to be a fun dynamic, and that's why I think it should still be called Valerian and Lorelai.
It's good to see Dane DeHaan not brooding at her.
It's real nice.
You know,
his hair
that
out of his
seems to be
eyes.
what he does. He
He's
seems like he's having a
smiling.
good time.
I'm really happy for him.
We got a comment from Remy Feldman. Honestly, your reactions have a great info value. Well, thanks, Remy. That's
Thanks,
cool.
man.
All right. Well, we're trying. Okay, let's keep scrolling forward in the trailer. Here we go. Back into that. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh, no, you're not going to kiss me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
It's like no kiss, because business time.
Business time. Because action. And pause right here. So we couldn't exactly determine or figure out, again, with all of these options, all these different alien races in the source material, the comic book, Valerian and Laureline, couldn't pinpoint who we think these characters are. If you guys in the chat have any idea, let us know. They remind me of the Tharks from John Carter. A lot of this trailer gives me a very John Carter vibe with this huge special effects and CG. But do we have any ideas for specifically who these characters might be, or maybe what the purpose is going to be in the film?
They're an armed race of mercenaries. I mean, they're obviously in some type of throne room. There's a giant creature behind them before she does the, no kissy time, business time. So this could be
a lot
about
of
anybody.
things. I mean,
There are 100 choices.
Very curious species here. Yes.
It could be the Bagolin. Those are a mercenary type species.
And that makes sense for the wardrobe. They have an armor to them, and they definitely have weaponry. We don't know how civilized or how advanced they are. That could make sense with the number of them.
And that's Bagoulin, so it might be Bagolin. Please,
sounds more
French
French.
speakers.
Bagoulin.
If I put a little bass in
My favorite character is Bagoulin. It's the best.
All French viewers are like, no.
I apologize. I apologize. That was a really bad accent.
These
All right.
Americans.
Yeah, these Americans, they don't know Valerian. Let's keep going forward in the trailer, guys. Here we go. Some cool fighting. I don't know if I buy Dane DeHaan being able to take that guy, but we'll see. Pause right here, pause it here. This is reminiscent of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, because there's always a bigger fish.
Perhaps there was more prequel inspirations that we weren't even aware of.
Well, I gotta mention this. I think the design director of The Phantom Menace had a bunch of volumes of Valerian and Laureline, as just sort of influential, had a bunch of volumes of that comic book.
So
when they
snake
were
eating
working,
its tail.
Yep.
Art imitates art, imitates art.
And I'm going to see your Phantom Menace and raise you the Empire Strikes Back. I think this is the angry great grandson of Exogorth.
All right.
The space slug.
Oh, the Exogorth. Oh,
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. Okay, could be in the same universe. We don't know. We don't know what Luke's going to do. All right, let's keep moving forward in the trailer. Pause right here. We just saw a guy who looked like from The Hobbit, but we know that that's not John Goodman. But John Goodman is in the film, but that's not John Goodman, right?
Or Ethan Hawke. Neither of them.
Pretty sure it's not Ethan Hawke, but they're both great actors.
Very impressive. You can do a
Slightly
lot.
familiar, but I can't place him.
Absolutely, but
Great beard.
but
I'm
wow,
never good with that.
but looks great. Looks great. Great beard. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, again those big
More
Phantom
underwater
Menace
action.
creatures. Great line, Universe Without Boundaries. Pause here. This is characters traveling through time, traveling through space. What is this?
I think it could be. I mean, the space and time are both used in the film. I think this might be how we see time travel, because without a device to show time travel, I think it'd be too confusing. I think we need some sort of otherwise you're just trying to figure out where you are, when you are, who you are.
We need lightning and
I
sparks.
mean, come on, that's what time does, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Since time
we've
travel
seen
was
Terminator.
invented. So I think this is a time travel
Yeah.
device.
Remy Feldman in the chat says, I am French and have not read Valerian. Sorry, guys. Well, we're all going to read it. We're all going to read it now.
But his name is
Remy.
Remy.
Yeah,
So,
it's a start.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But
It's like a 20-minute read, I hear, for Shadow of the Ambassadors. It's a small book.
Markia, can you tell us about how the book actually does feature time travel as a pretty important, just give us a little bit of background.
Oh, okay, well, their actual ship is the one with the time travel capabilities. So, but they're not in a ship right now.
Right,
so,
Right, that's my curiosity.
So it's up in the air then. I'm actually intrigued on how they're going to do this.
And they mention a B caliber ship at some point, which apparently has 30 centuries worth of time travel. And I love the idea of a car running out of gas, and they have a ship running out of time. So it's apparently a 30 century time device.
You got it. All right, guys, let's keep going through the trailer. Here we go. I think we're just about almost wrapped up. And keep going and pause right here with this turtle creature.
Yeah, Mad Max Turtle Edition.
Mad Max Desert. Dan, what do you make of this?
It looks cool.
Looks really cool.
It looks. That's Luc Besson. That's what you get. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna go all the way for it, and you're either gonna buy it or you're not. He doesn't. He doesn't go halfway on anything.
You know where my brain went was Mario Kart. The idea that when you throw the turtle shell, that comes out of it, and this is a Mario Kart scene. That's what I want to see.
You know what? That's a stretch, but I like it. We're gonna go with it. Good one, Coy. Markia, any thoughts on this and just the location overall?
Well, I love that they have all of these different locations, like this being on a desert planet. This is not a holograph. This isn't a holodeck kind of a thing. So it's like, once again, the immensity. You're seeing the 1,000 planets with this. And, I'm just glad it's not Bebop and Rocksteady. So or at least that
Nice.
graphic worthy. So.
Sick Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows burn. Nice. Take them down a peg. All right, let's keep moving toward in the trailer. Let's keep moving forward here, guys. Needs heroes without limits. That's the payoff to the previous line. We got to pause on this great shot. This is a great video game shot. What do we know about this shot? Coy, what do we know?
I love they use this device a couple times in the trailer. They use weaponry to slow down or to cause you able, like it's got a tangible aspect to it. So he's literally running on the bullets he's shooting. I've not seen that in something like this before to this scale. Like it literally feels like a video game where he's controlling his descent, and they use it again later on. So the idea that weapons have a tangible caliber to them is super exciting. Like I don't even know what this could mean later, but I want it.
It's kind of like Infamous, you know, where you can,
And what's he landing in? At the end, there's like it looks like a glowing flower. Like there's something to it.
So he's running to like shrooms.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving forward.
That movie, running to shrooms. I understand.
Let's keep moving forward in the trailer. Here's a great Star Wars looking Battlestar Galactica shot.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm getting scared that the Cylons showed up, so let's keep moving forward. Here we go. Some great kicking action. And now pause here. This ship may have been the ship that is their means of time travel, possibly? Is that what we're thinking?
Possibly. I mean, why else would they give it this much time in this teaser trailer?
Yeah.
I mean, this ship has to mean something.
And we've talked about how he's not going to use another shot from these trailers in any other trailer. He's literally using only original footage per trailer. So I think that using these things is very indicative of what we're going to experience.
Okay, guys, let's keep moving forward in the trailer. We've got just a little bit more to get through. I think we're pretty much done. Oh, beautiful.
There we go.
Come on. Rihanna is showing up as an alien race that is Shapeshifter, right? Marquia, give us a little background info on these characters.
The Shofus, they're colorless. They're shapeshifters. They deal in the arts of the flesh type of a thing. Well, they set up fantasies. They do that, and that's pretty much their commerce kind of a thing. And I find this shot to be absolutely gorgeous. And this is what I was talking about with like Rihanna, with like sci-fi. Yes, she could totally be a
changing,
shapeshifter.
And like Rihanna sets up fantasies in all realities. So I'm about that casting choice.
I did not even notice the dress because I was so like blown away by the hair effect. I was like, was that just all in her hat? Was it CG?
She's full Monroe's, like just so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Andrew Kim is saying they didn't even mention time travel, but apparently that's what it's about. Bad trailer. Well, no, this is a teaser.
It's a teaser.
And Luc Besson has mentioned that this is going to describe tone and look. And I think that that's what the film did. And also, time travel is a small aspect of this larger world in the comic book storyline. So
and something else to mention about this race, they can also be utilized as spies, but they hate that. They hate that.
They hate it. All right, pride. Let's keep moving forward in the trailer, guys. Here we go. Keep on trucking. Great shot of character we know nothing about. Let's keep going. Great. That's really cool.
Yes, he's very fit.
Okay, so the gun again is being used to slow his descent.
But see, there's a technical difficulty.
Right,
there.
he's not. I think he was firing blanks. Sorry.
Superhero landing.
Superhero landing. But he literally, it slowed him, but he wasn't able to stop. So I think he might be out of that bullet he was using earlier, and that's maybe a plot point because it looks like he's wearing the same outfit.
Yeah.
So I think that's exciting.
We've also heard too that a lot of these shots keep going forward in the trailer are not even done yet, but there will be updated and characters will be added in. There might be two characters.
Yeah, I read that this shot there's actually a second character, so that means that they're building the film as we're seeing pieces of it. So as we discover these trailers, we'll get a whole new movie.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys, for the trailer. I think we're just about done. I think we got the title. Wow, there was a lot of information there that I didn't know we could glean from that trailer, to be honest, but I'm really, really excited. Let's just give our some sort of a wrap-up final thoughts here, guys. Let's start over here with Dan. Dan, you were talking about the budgets.
Here's while we were waiting, Daniel Scott on Twitter asked if I thought it would bomb like John Carter, but here's the thing with these movies. Fifth Element, John Carter, Jupiter Ascending, Lucy, Avatar, they're all big, spectacle sci-fi, they're all very complex, and they all made 70% or more of their money from foreign markets. The US market was about a quarter of their business. So I think that this is always a hard sell. This big budget sci-fi, especially in the US, is a very hard sell. I think that it may not, if this movie underperforms here, that's not the story, because Luc Besson, in worldwide release, has never had a movie that made more here than worldwide.
There we go.
So I think the story for this movie is going to be written globally and not so much here in the United States.
I love it. That's fantastic. Okay, guys, well, let me get from everybody here on the panel, including myself, let me just get your guys' final thoughts about this trailer in one word to kind of wrap everything up. We'll start with you, Dan. What do you got?
I'm going to go with unique.
Unique.
That's Luc
Scope.
Besson.
Scope.
Like the scope of the film is
beautiful.
What
Marquia.
I'm going to choose between two, either immensity or escapism.
I like that. I like escapism. I like immensity. I'll say new. I'm just excited because it's new. I love that. So, guys, that was our trailer breakdown and info dump for everything that was happening in Valerian, City of a Thousand, Planet of a Thousand Cities? Planet of a Thousand Cities. City of a Thousand Planets? One of those two. That's what it was, guys. I'm Hector Navarro. This is Screen Junkies News. We'll see you tomorrow with some more stuff. Bye.